What if I don't want it?
I don't want to be associated with the KKK.
Oh,
Hello?
hello?
Am I wrong?
Bitch, you a racist. You laughed your ass off when Charlie Kirk got killed. Hello?
So would that be just during the campaign? I mean, because I could imagine, like, you know, it. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I think the implications of that could be really expensive, right? So, do people in a public setting get to talk about, like, how far does that extend, right? So, at a public event, you can't say, hey, you know, I'm supporting so and so. Is it just in commercials or video? Like, you know, like how far would that speech go? I think that would be really hard, you know, to sort of disaggregate when you get to support someone or when your freedom of speech, you know, when you get to have your freedom of speech, and then when you know, you're limited, you know, if you couldn't say that. I mean, I think the endorsement is important. So, you know, I'm so and so and I endorse this message. Yeah, but you can't disentangle that. I don't see how you'd be able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, the one today is tough because I'll put the New York Daily News piece aside. I mean, the candidate might not like Anthropic, but I'm sure he loves the ad. Today it's kind of tricky too. What if you like the ad, to your point for say, what if you like the ad and you want the exposure, and even if it's good, but you don't like the people? So the KKK is an extreme example, but the one from today is really interesting because
I think the only way to post.
finish.
Okay, sorry. I recognize I'm tardy to class, but I think the only way to go about that is to indirectly offend the people that you don't want to support you. So, for instance, like y'all remember when Gucci did that runway, and they had the noose around the neck, and it was like all the black people were outraged. Like, I can't believe Gucci would do this, and some people were like, well, it makes perfect sense if they feel like you are bringing down, you know, the image of their fashion or whatever, or you know, you're not the ideal client, then do something to offend the people who will support you, and then hopefully they won't support you anymore. I guess maybe. Maybe not.
Sorry, Penny. I didn't hear your submission. I only heard part of it. So.
No, I'm just saying. I just like indirectly disrespect the people that you don't want supporting you.
I mean, you know, you can, you know, Trump, you know, played around with the KKK, and the KKK helped him win. You know, it mobilized some folks. He spent a lot of time not distancing himself from people and then pretending that he never met them, and, you know, it got him more airtime, and people were like, you know what? I could vote for him. So, you know, I think people will. I think if you want a person to win, and you realize that you are a controversial or, you know, I think you do that stuff on the cool, right? Or I would hope, you know, in channels. I think we have so many different spaces for communication that, you know, not everyone is listening to every sort of every place, right? So, you know, only when it becomes there's sort of crossover, you know, crosstalk, and I don't know the extent to which that that's always the case. So I think, in some spaces, even the most problematic folks are able to get out their support and, to the right people, right? I think they have their lanes of communication. I think that works. And the white supremacist, Christian nationalist, white nationalists got, got enough from the right people, I think, to also help him, get people out to vote for him.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, political ads, and it's like, this has probably already been said, but I'll just say it for the sake of my own voice being heard. Like, political ads, for all intents and purposes, are not deciders of elections. And so, like, while they can shape impressions and may feed to sort of the worldview of particular voters, they don't actually, like, normally it's the people who are persuaded by an ad are people who already had a worldview that sort of align with that ad. So there's an example that I can give, which is from the 90s. There was an a political ad maker by the name of Alex Castellanos. And Alex was the guy behind the ad with the white glove. There was a white glove in the ad. In fact, I'm going to try to find it and then share it. And I do believe people talked about that ad forever after the election. Like, that was the deciding factor. That was a deciding factor. Similarly, in 2006, I think, 2005-6, Harold Ford Jr., he was a then congressman representing the congressional district that included Memphis, Tennessee. He ran for the United States Senate against a guy named Bob Corker. And the last few weeks of an ad, weeks of the campaign, they ran an ad that made Harold Ford Jr. look as if he was courting a bunch of white women. And he was unmarried at the time. There were rumors that he dated white women. He eventually married one, but at the time he was not married. And people remember that ad as the thing that sort of like tipped the scale. And I think maybe theoretically those ads that I'm referencing probably did in sort of like a sort of a general way, maybe have tipped the scale. But the voters who were persuaded by that ad already believed that worldview, already had that worldview. So my general view and stake on, like, particularly money in elections, and it was particularly around ads, is that piece. I think the most nefarious component to political ads in general are the ones that are on social media, because it's harder to track who those are funded by, so I don't really take a whole lot of stake in, like, oh, it's really the funder that supports the thing. Like, the people who would like that ad are like probably like the ad without the ad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And to your point, I mean, I think of, the ads that work to some degree are the ones that we remember, right? So, you talked about Alex Castellanos, however you pronounce his name, and I'm also thinking about like the Swift Boat Veterans for Justice or whatever.
Brother, I'm gonna back channel you something before you finish. I'm just gonna back channel you something. When you finish, I want you to look, and please do not come off mute. Do not yell. Do not think differently of me. But I'm gonna send you something off just about this point. I didn't know you was gonna say it, but I'm gonna send it to your back channel.
Okay. So I was just thinking, I agree. I think there's some that provide or that shape. Um, they they help shape narratives, but to your point, I don't know the extent to which they completely change minds, or or do they maybe amplify things that people don't. If you already were inclined not to like this person, um, might it motivate you? It'd be like the extra oomph that you need to go out and vote, or not vote. Does it actually switch minds? I don't know. And, I know people have written a lot about this, but I'm curious. Okay, did you send it?
I think it's. Oh, you know.
Okay. No, yeah.
So for me, I don't know, Imam, when you got, we're specifically talking about the cover of the New York Daily News. That was the news piece we were talking about because it was paid for by a super PAC, Boras or whatever. Had no say in it, but it's the cover and it looks like a real cover, but it was actually an ad that was paid for. But it was actually an ad that was paid for by a super PAC that's really anthropic. And so this is my view on ads. I've read a lot of articles on it. I've talked to people who studied it for a living, and I can find someone that agrees exactly with what your mama says. I can find someone who disagrees with everything she said. I can find 80,000 people in the middle. I think it's one of these things where if it works, it worked. If it didn't work, but you have to spend the money so that it works. It's like running a trick play in football. Trick plays oftentimes don't work. They're aborted, you lose 15 yards. But if they work, they work. And so you got to run a trick play. And the other thing about it is, one thing I dislike about it is a lot of the research spends a lot of time, not all of it, but a lot of it does on presidential election in the general. I'm interested in a lot of this stuff in primaries, local races. Are there 10 people versus 2 people? I think when you begin to control for and put in different variables, I think it could matter. I also wonder, I'm going to ask somebody about this, about the effect on turnout is. Right? So maybe you don't persuade anybody, and a particular ad is not dispositive one way or another, but it gets the people going, in a particular way. So, and then I wonder, the effect of different types of ads. Television is what people always talk about. But this particular thing was on the Daily News. So everybody in New York is talking about it. And, Boras is in a very tight race. And, people get the Daily News. So everybody that's on the train, whether you get the Daily News or not, I saw this morning, you walk past, you go to the train, you see it. Oh, look, there's what's the name right there? It's Boras. So there's a way in which it's an ad-ish, but it also just puts your name in. Oh, I need to go vote. I forgot. Oh, let me make sure I go vote. It's I don't know. I think it's very complex. So we were talking about that because he did not have any say on whether or not they were going to run that ad. But we can change the topic. I think somehow we got trolled into that other topic. I got to stop falling for that.
Who gets the people going?
I mean, that's my own fault.
You love it. Whatever.
No, I don't. I don't.
You do.
When someone says, "What do you mean by the word prevent?" You're playing word games. I don't love that. I actually lost 8 pounds as soon as she said that. All the blood fell out of my ears. What do you mean by prevent?
Anyway, what happened to Joy Reid?
Yeah, I'm gonna play it this afternoon. I can't play it right now.
Oh.
I mean, like I'll be able to play it like 25, 30, like 20 minutes. If people want. Her Patty's here. She might want to play it around. Okay.
I think she's out. I don't think she's audible today. Told you. She said I can't. I'm outside. if I got a chance to say Happy Father's Day to you yesterday. I know I said it to the space, but Happy Father's Day. Hope you enjoy it. Happy Father's Day to all the wonderful men that are here, whether you have kids or not. If you are a father figure and you have nephews, nieces, dogs, and if you father and love them, Happy Father's Day to you as well. All right. It's 12:30 p.m. 12:31 to be exact. That was a great conversation in regards to the super PAC. I learned something today. That's what money. That's the power of money. Money can buy anything, and now I've learned that money can buy anything, as well as controlling the other person and saying, I'm going to write this about you whether you want me to or not because you're a public figure. My. Hey, that's the world we live in today. I think somebody needs to repeal that. That's just my thoughts. So, that was part of the discussion today that led into another discussion. Some kind of way we got on bio. I don't know. Anyway, what's next? Where are we going? Is there a train or a plane taking us somewhere? Any updating news?
Yeah, what's the updates on the Iran deal?
Of course. I was going to ask.
On the Iran deal, I know Vaughn's
CEO isn't here.
Oh, he was. He was in here for a good old
I
time.
know.
Oh, you waited for him to leave for you to say that. You see that?
No, the band asked the question. I was just asking if he was still here.
But I'm saying you should have came up and asked him what you needed to ask him.
I mean, it was a good conversation. I don't want to ruin the.
I'm sure that would have been a better conversation.
He'll come back.
Let me see if I can ping him back.
Yeah, bring him back.
But yeah, I saw JD Vance is like going to the next level now because Iran has agreed to allow the inspectors to come back in. Agreed to allow this. That's all I know.
Oh, did y'all report on Alan Greenspan?
Oh, and Clive Davis.
Oh, wow. Oh, is that why y'all started talking about Whitney?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Y'all know, Ben probably knows this, but y'all know that Andrea Mitchell is Alan Greenspan's wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And for those that are new to the space, Clive Davis, at the age of 94, on June 22nd, 2026, is no longer amongst the living. I haven't seen that come across CNN yet. I've been waiting for that. Is this for certain? Yeah. Major news outlets have broke the news. Okay. All right, cool.
Another piece
Yeah,
of news.
Go ahead. Hey, Evans.
Yeah, another piece of news is that a deconfliction mechanism has been established for the ceasefire in Lebanon, which excludes Israel. Remember what I was saying about the Qatar, Egypt, Turkey, and others take momentum away from Israel in Lebanon? Seems that that's happening.
Yeah. I was wondering where you were, Neo. I figured you were hard at work, trying to get this MOU signed. Once it felt like it was all gonna be for naught. So I hope hopefully you get the sign, but yes, the sun looks really hard again. So is this how it's gonna be? Are we? Is they gonna kick it down the hallway until and wait for a new president? Because I just don't see. I don't even see how we get to the nuclear deal. I mean, I'm a nobody, so there's no reason why I should, But I just, I don't know. There's nothing about this that is like, that I feel like this is gonna be long lasting.
Have you guys talked about the role that JD Vance has played in this, given his previous hesitancy about war and particularly going into Iran? Have you guys actually talked about that, or just kind of in passing?
I think when he was on The View, he was actually responding to some of those questions.
Yeah.
But as a personal response, I don't think people have personally responded to it.
Yeah, he's been. I think Kim. I mentioned in this yesterday, but if you guys haven't seen his Ross Dudot interview on the New York Times podcast, his New York Times podcast, he also gets into this a little bit, but it's obviously less hostile because Ross he was more focused on the sort of his new book, but I think it's interesting that he was sort of a complete naysayer to going into Iran and specifically the type of the sort of the way in which they went into Iran, but now it's become the face of the deal or potential deals, which is always interesting to me because as the VP you get assigned the task, and so it's going to be interesting to see how once sort of the dust settles. I mean, this probably won't be over in 2027 when he's running for president, but the sort of role that he plays now will certainly be part of the conversation if he is a presidential nominee in 2027, 2028.
Yeah, I think this is revival of his dead political career and his potential presidential run. At least that's probably how he sees it. That obviously hinges on the Iran deal not backfiring again. But yeah, he's back in the conversation, and he's back in the conversation sounding relatively sane and, dare I say, on this issue, kind of centrist.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have a very different worldview, and maybe because I think wars are so unpredictable, foreign policy is so unpredictable, and and can make or break presidential candidates. I just have a very different worldview. I think he is back in the conversation, not invisible like he was before. I don't know if this is great for him. Actually, if I were him, I would be worried because even though he's assigned the face, right, as being the spokesperson for the deal and the administration, but he doesn't get to make the choices. So the choices that the administration makes and the president of the United States makes are the ones that will decide his fate as whether or not the sort of impact taints or helps his worldview on or his campaign as he runs for president. Now, the one thing that always happens in U.S. elections, as you all know about all presidential candidates, there's always about they don't have foreign policy experience. So this does give him that. But I think it's largely contingent on the decisions that's made and whether this deal is actually seen favorably or not. And I think we've heard a lot about this sort of previous week's deal. A lot of Republicans from both sides of don't agree with the deal. So it's interesting. He also inserted in the New York Times interview, he inserted Obama's name and the JCPOA numerous times in the conversation. Yeah, it's an interesting thing.
Well, I hope the Republicans, because Martha Rubio will be doing the same. I hope the Republicans do nominate someone whose main portfolio or dossier is foreign policy. No one's ever won the presidency, and it's one of the great ironies. And I don't know why people in the media, like you just said, I don't know why people have foreign policy experience. No one cares. No one cares. Those with the most foreign policy experience in our lifetime never won. Ever. Except 88.
It's so funny because you say that because the best, I will not say who the best person was, but on paper, the most qualified person on foreign policy in 2004 couldn't get out of Iowa.
Yeah.
On paper, in terms of like their career, not just on foreign policy, but as like their full career.
I know who it is. Want me to say?
Yeah. No, you say.
General Clark.
No. Bob Graham.
Oh, I completely forgot.
He couldn't even make it out of Iowa. 2-term governor, United States senator, sat on foreign policy, wrote the 9/11 commission, was part of the 9/11 commission, couldn't make it out of Iowa.
Did Bill Richardson ever run for president?
He did.
Same thing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I hope they run on this. I mean, it would be amazing if J.D. Vance decided to run for president on an Iran deal in which, as Jarl wants to remind us, although we talk about it all the time, they killed 156, and we were literally talking about it yesterday, 156 schoolgirls. What's the name went up? Gas price. I would love that. And you basically get, I mean, he said yesterday that did you see it, Neoliberal, what the big breakthrough was yesterday? Neoliberal, are you there? Or are you marinating meat?
I think he is on the phone.
Oh, okay. Did you guys see what he said?
In his country, they don't have a cell phones.
Oh, he's on the Soviet landline. Oh, he's got to get permissions from Comintern to be allowed to. It didn't make me mad, Jarl. We talked about it yesterday. But it's exactly right. If people want to run off that, like that's all going to come up. It's going to come up with the AI discussion. I really hope they do, because Americans. I think that's horrible. No one's mad, brother. No one's mad at all. It's just good timing that you said that with the conversation. We know you're not listening to the conversation, but it was good timing nonetheless. But the big breakthrough yesterday, for those of you who didn't watch the J.D. Vance press conference, if you said this, I apologize. I was taking care of an ablution. Was they're going to agree to UN inspectors. Anyone see that? Anyone see that?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
No,
That
say
was
that
the big
again.
break yesterday.
What was the big break yesterday?
Iran's going to agree to UN inspectors.
That's.
So when I heard
I
that,
just said that. I just said that.
Oh, okay. I said I was away. If someone said it, I apologize. I was.
Oh, whatever. You heard me say it. You just want to say.
Would you like to know what the ablution was? Is that why you want me to tell you what it was?
No, fine. Just go ahead. Just say it.
But anyway, when I heard that, I cut 2 toes off.
Yeah, darn.
That was the whole problem with the Obama deal. Oh, these UN inspectors are just bureaucrats. We can't trust them. Huh? So I hope they run on it. J.D. Vance can't be. I think maybe this is his way to get back in the news before he begins to shift to domestic affairs, because they're going to have to. He's essentially going to be running on the Trump record, right? Domestically, and that's what people are going to be voting for. So I apologize firstly. I was taking care of an ablution. Do you want to know what it was?
No, I'm okay. I was just teasing. Because you know, if somebody else would have did that to you, you can say, I just said that. No, I just said that.
But did I give a disclaimer? That's going to be word of the day. Can I tell you what my solution was?
No, I don't want to.
I'll tell you what it was. I'll tell you what it was.
No.
I'm gonna tell you.
Okay. You were
I
getting
went
nose
to
hairs.
my next door neighbor's alligator and told him
Oh.
the next time he eats a baby, even though it's evil, to get a disclaimer.
Oh
It's the
my
same
God.
person. It's the same person.
Leave that child alone.
My God.
Same person. What does prevent me? And alligators know notions of evil.
Oh, we stare up.
Just stay there. So what have they gotten that's different than the Obama deal?
Nothing yet.
What was improved besides, I guess, the threat of bombing? They keep saying threat of bombing. Is there anything else that's different?
Oh, I know. No, there is something major that I don't think we actually discussed.
Oh, good.
And that is the fact that this will not be coming out of the U.S. tax dollars to pay them back. They'll be getting just their sanction money that was held. Isn't that different?
No, that was true for Obama too.
That's not different?
No, Obama.
No, they just say that.
It was like $300 million that had been frozen, and it accumulated a bunch of money, their own money. I don't think there was any tax dollars.
Yeah, why would we be giving them tax dollars if we didn't destroy infrastructure during the Obama administration?
No, but she said that's what they say. That's what
we're gonna have to pay for it. They're gonna have to pay for it. They gotta rebuild that infrastructure.
Oh no. Von said no. Von said no. No. Von said no.
Part of joint. So in the JP 3.0, and 3.6 is part of it's one of the last phases. So they're gonna end up paying for it. Whether they get it from the GCC countries, I don't know where the fuck they're gonna get the money. It's gotta be paid for. They're gonna have to put that infrastructure back.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, I don't know where Matt got this from, but Matt says, breaking. Tucker Carlson announces he is no longer supporting the Republican Party. There's no chance I will support the Republican Party. How could I, or any American voters, support a political party that's not loyal to the United States of America?
DC was right. She called it.
Where's Jeremy?
She also retired eggs, you know.
So what is he, a liberal now?
He ain't a nobody.
He ain't no Democrat.
He just a nobody. He gonna vote for them Republicans.
Y'all have seen the Christian authority to Tucker Carlson, and that's the problem. I don't want to have that conversation.
Well, you're right. CC told us he was going to introduce Medicare for all, and all the Democrats are going to vote for Tucker Carlson. So there you go.
Yeah, he's gonna be a libertarian.
He'll be right back voting for
Exactly.
party in 2020.
Hello.
He will probably support J.D. Vance. I think his son actually working for J.D. Vance or was working something like that.
They'll do that thing where they'll be like, Trump did so much, so important, but I think he lost his way there. But we can really pick up MAGA. You're right, JD. You're right, Marco. Okay, I'm back on. I mean, I can't vote for a Democrat. I can't vote for John Ossoff. I mean, this guy. And so they'll do the thing where they, they'll say, like a lot of quote independents do. I mean, both sides are bad, but I'll spend my 5 minutes bashing Democrats and not saying anything about Republicans. It'll be that sort of thing come election time.
Y'all are thinking like retarded. That's your problem.
That's true. I want to be retarded.
Maybe he will become communist then. The French lady says she's a socialist.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Oh, God.
She tried to act like she didn't say that either. That was the craziest thing.
Oh, yeah, that was wild. I'm going to be honest with you. That was the one thing I did hear. I couldn't understand that one. Y'all were using her bag. I couldn't hear shit, but I heard retard ass. I was like, oh.
BWA called me retard and you for a month after that. That was hilarious.
Okay, I have a question. This is not related to
You can't be at Costco's again. You just can't.
I'm not, ma'am. And if I am, I'm helping stimulate the economy. What are you stimulating? What am I gonna need?
Well, I hope to stimulate.
You took the PTR. I mean, they're great.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I apologize for that. That was inappropriate. I need to clean my my patio furniture. What do y'all use to clean like the cushions?
Yeah, I know. Go to I get it from you can get it from Wayfair or Crate and Barrel or Jonathan Reach. You get new cushions.
Yeah, nobody
Yeah.
uses them. They buy new ones.
You just buy new ones. No, I'm not joking. You just buy new ones.
They buy new ones every year.
Yeah.
I got 12 kids. I can't do that.
They're not expensive.
The one that I have are yes.
Well, you should have covered them or took them back in the house.
I did, but I used it. I normally take them. So normally I take them off for the off season. I didn't. I bought a cover, but the cover didn't do a great job. So I'm trying to see if I could. It's not. See, y'all are in a different. I don't know why I asked y'all. I'm clearly.
Put plastic on it. You should put plastic on your cushions like the old school people did.
Well, I'm gonna have to.
So, brother, can you repeat your question because I couldn't hear it? I just want to make sure I understand.
Yeah, I was talking to the elite on stage, clearly, but I was just asking, does anybody have like a solution or that they use to help clean their patio furniture? Like like if people use a mix, like buy something already pre-made, or mix their own. I thought like white and still vinegar and stuff like that. I have that stuff, but I was just asking.
You can actually reach out to the manufacturer and they can give you like the guidelines for cleaning.
Okay.
Yeah, they're gonna also send you a pamphlet on how to reorder.
Well, a lot of times for people will buy extra casings because they're like different components. Like you have the foam and then like the outer shell, like the zipper. Sometimes casings can be washed, but not all the time. So it's usually the easiest to just reach out to the manufacturer and just figure out what can be used to clean it.
I'll at least do that before I just buy all new stuff. I've already looked at the stuff, and it's more than I want to spend. But I'll do that first. Thank you.
And depending on how long you have it, it might be like a limited warranty. So depending on like what actually happened, like if it's fading, because it might not be. Is it dirty or is it fading?
Yeah, it's just like it's just dirty. I had a cover on it, but there's still like dirt that got on the cushion and stuff. It wasn't when you cut the grass, some of the grass got underneath the stuff. So I just want to clean it. I just want to sort of clean it. I have a little hose and for the pressure washer. I was going to use that. I just wanted to know. I don't see anything out here, but I'll see if the manufacturer has something. I'll start from there. That is expensive. I can't do that. Not this time. Hopefully. Thank you.
Well, for the fourth time, because it's on the chat again, wonderful contributor to music,
Clive Davis.
Mr. Clive Davis, has passed on
No.
somewhere. Not sure of his glory.
No. Clive Davis. No.